Okay, I think we are live. Everything down here looks good. I think I finally fixed the audio being really, really low. It's been an ongoing issue that I've been fighting with Windows on because for some stupid reason, Microsoft keeps turning my microphone properties down to like 40. And that just has been the overall issue that I've discovered. Despite playing with everything else, I realized it was a microphone problem. So hopefully I'm a little louder today than normal. Martin says audio is good. There we go. I was waiting. Sometimes this app up here takes a minute, so I'm glad I was able to see those kind of pop up at the same time. So audio should be a little louder today, more on par with a regular viewing experience. At least I hope that's the case. Quarantine is here, dude. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you being here. Always love seeing familiar faces. We've got Collins in here. We've got Martin, of course, like we just talked about. So always happy to see some familiar faces. There we've got Practical IT with Jeremy. Sound good on the surround system. That's I wasn't expecting that. Something. Oh, dude, Collins, you rock star. Thank you so much for that. I think then with this, as long as audio sounds good, I think everybody's happy with that. Again, we should be at a proper audio level for, I think, the first time ever on a live stream. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start closing out some stuff here and hope that didn't just screw up my audio, because it would be my luck. Roar Dog Media says, good morning, everyone. Well, thanks for being here. Appreciate you stopping by to hang out for a little bit. Excuse me. I'm still working on some coffee this morning because we are here a little earlier than normal. And that is because it's supposed to get really hot for Colorado today. So I think we're going to hit like 90 degrees, which is kind of abnormal. Damn, I got something stuck there. That sucks. Let me see. Weather, my zip code. Yeah, we've got, so it's actually come down a bit. It was supposed to be like 90. We're going to get to like 85. So not quite as bad, but I wanted to get to hang out with you guys a little bit out here before the weather fell off and made it super uncomfortable to be out here. So that's why we're starting an hour early today. My afternoon project today is going to be setting up Pangolin. Heard about it here first. That's great. I've been really kicking around the idea of doing the same. I'm really excited about what Pangolin has going on, and I definitely think it's at a point where I could feel pretty comfortable deploying it for everything. But I still think I want to do a quick test. Collins was nice to say, and we want to hang out with you. I appreciate that. Clicksby Scott says, good morning from the Cook Islands. I don't even know where that is. I've heard of them, but I don't know. Wow, that looks amazing. Holy crap. Is that a nation in the South Pacific with political links to New Zealand? Wow, that's crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys can. Let's switch that over real quick so you guys can see these pictures. Holy crap. Wow, that's incredible. Like, I would totally hang out there. That looks really, really good. That's crazy. Drum Tech Potato is a great name. It says, hey, everyone, and happy Saturday. Well, thank you for stopping by and hanging out. 5 months with the sub button already. Doesn't feel that long. Holy crap. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Have we really been doing, I mean, I've been trying really hard this year to do these live streams as often as I can, and I have like once a week. Usually every Saturday, with the occasional Sunday as necessary. But yeah, gosh, we've been doing this since like the first part of January, so that's awesome. Clicksby says snorkeling for lunch later. Hell yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm terrified of water. I don't do well in water. I don't float well. Even when I was thinner, I just sink. I always have. It's been an issue. My wife still makes fun of me from events when we were kids. So swimming's never been my strong suit. Alexia Mandy says, hello, everyone, on this Saturday evening. Well, I'm super glad that you're here. And of course, right as I say that, Twitch starts throwing ads, because that's how it rolls over there. but I'm really, really stoked to have you guys here. I also changed up the little Autobot, not Transformers, the bot that says stuff in the chat every once in a while. I tweaked that a little bit, so hopefully it won't be quite as useless. You need to learn how to swim. I believe that. I'd like to visit, but I don't think I could live there if I got to learn how to swim. Like, here's the thing: I kind of can. Like, I can if I flip over, I can float on my back, sort of, and I do okay. But I'm not a strong swimmer. So, Guts says just joined. What is FileBrowser Quantum? No worries, we haven't even got there yet. We're just kind of doing the settling in, checking in with everybody, doing the pre-game chat, so to speak. We'll get into that in a little bit. Basically, the gist of it is that FileBrowser, the developers from that decided to step aside and quit doing that. So GT Stefaniak, I hope I got that right, posted something over in Reddit the other day that we're going to take a look at. But basically, it's a forked, modified version of FileBrowser with a bunch of new features that is still being developed. But it popped up a few days ago on Reddit, and then Ethan Shawley from the Self-Host newsletter talked about it yesterday morning in his newsletter. And I kind of thought it'd be kind of fun to take a look at and chat about it a little bit, do some demo stuff. The developer, GT Stefaniak. Again, I hope I got that right. I said that he may be in the chat a little bit today, so we'll have to take a look and see what happens there. But he wanted me to let people know, and I'll cover this later again. This is still in early development, and it is still kind of early beta development. We're on a 0.78 beta. I know you can't see my screen. That's by design. And he's looking for people to just test the crap out of it. He wants people to use all kinds of edge cases and all kinds of stuff. In fact, I think I can even find maybe the conversation that I was having with him a little bit yesterday. Let me excuse me. Here, I'll just show this real quick over here on my desktop. Going to cover FileBrowser Quantum on my YouTube channel. This was hopefully, there we go. Just making sure. I've got a new screen over here, and it makes the viewing port much smaller. And so I wasn't sure if it had switched over yet. It's weird. I'm still getting used to this, the screen that I've got down here. So anyway, I was like, hey, I couldn't find any other way to reach out, and I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be covering your fork of FileBrowser on my YouTube channel. I talked about kind of when and that sort of thing, to which he responded, that's very cool, appreciate the coverage. I would ask you to mention to your audience, it's in beta and under active development at the moment. I'm really looking for people willing to test all of the edge cases while I get a stable version prepared. Thanks again for letting me know if there's anything you have questions about. And he said, I'll try to make it for the chat to check it out. I think I'll be free. So hopefully we'll have the chance to have the developer in chat at some point. But that's kind of where that is for right now. I guess while we're here, while we're taking a look at my screen, let's do this. Let's jump over to the Reddit post. This was 3 days ago from Quantum X admin. It says the popular FileBrowser repository is no longer accepting pull requests and is in maintenance mode only, or maintenance only mode, my bad. And there's the link for that. Let's actually take a look at that. I haven't read this. Thanks everyone that's chimed in. I'm going to start giving some background information on the project, which most people don't know. Started the project back in 2015. That's almost 10 years ago. At the time, I was just 15 years old. That's crazy, which likely explains some of the questionable decisions I made at the time. It all started as a plugin for a Caddy web server and then evolved into its own project. In 2018, I got more busy with university and work and did not have time to maintain the project, hence this issue right there. In the last 7 years, the number of stars triplicated, which likely means that the number of users also increased greatly. I never expected this project to blow up the way it did, and I'm very glad that there were maintainers along the years that, in one way or another, kept the project alive. Looking at what has been said, it's clear to me that there aren't many technical people interested in maintaining the project. Therefore, this is what I suggest. Feature freeze, the project remains in maintenance mode only. New issues and PRs, pull requests for feature requests are not accepted. This would be made clear in the README, and the issue and PR templates would be updated to reflect this information. Perhaps remove the feature request template completely. This would help reduce the burden for maintainers, considering that there is no active work on this project. And a note to the footer of FileBrowser to indicate this. Alternatives. Provide users with a list of alternatives in the README to projects with active maintainers and accepting new features. This could also be done by doing this, for example, and the triage issues to go through the current issues and PRs to see what's actual an issue and what's not. Feature requests, PRs are closed, and issues to close. This is not planned. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. Basically, closing things that aren't planned that are feature requests. Maybe closing isn't the best idea. Maybe tags are better for this. Open to opinions. Make the status of the project clear. I do not give false hopes. So as a result of that, Stefaniak, I think I got that right. That's how it looks to me. Says that he's the creator of the true successor for FileBrowser Quantum, which is what we're going to take a look at, that he's refined over the past 2 years. I've been working hard towards the stable release and have been avoiding announcing anything until then, but due to the circumstances, I think the time is now. This is an exciting time to be in the self-hosted community. If you're looking for a true successor to FileBrowser and are willing to help out with any issues you notice, please check the repo. Again, that's linked above. Says he's got a lot of exciting plans and don't want to keep my repo out of the spotlight anymore. If you need a stable product, just give it another month or two. It's coming soon. In the meantime, come along for the ride. So that's kind of where things are at this point. Now, before we're gonna come back to this in a minute, but it says right here, like, of course, this is the GitHub repository, and it says right here, warning, there is no stable version planned for 2025, and there's a read more there. So we're gonna come back to that in just a minute, but it looks like we've got some more people here that have been chatting, and I wanted to kind of address some of that. Thank you, Collins, for explaining. FileBrowser is the core app that is installed on each of my Docker hosts. Oh, that's interesting. Looking forward to seeing more about FileBrowser Quantum. Well, that's what we're here for. Peter says, good afternoon, gents. Thank you for stopping by, Peter. Appreciate you being here. I've been using FileBrowser for years. Stoked to see this new fork. Absolutely. We got Thomas W. saying, hey all, and Carl saying good evening. Well, I'm glad you all are here. Thank you so much for hanging out, at least for a little while. If you guys at any point feel the urge, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. That would be super, super helpful for me and the channel and that sort of thing. Over the past several days, we've had a bunch of new subscribers, in large part to the last video that came out, which we talked about Papra. That video did way better than I expected it to. Tons of views. Actually, the curve has shot back up this morning because obviously it's the weekend. Tons of new subscribers, lots of comments on it, that sort of thing. So if you're here from that, thank you so much for being here. Of course, I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces, and I always love that too. So super, super stoked to be talking about FileBrowser Quantum this morning. Oh, also, you know what? While we're here, just because. Oh, hey, Graham just subscribed. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Graham. Appreciate you being here. One other thing I want to do real quick. If you liked Papra, and I know we're getting off topic just a little bit, but if you liked Papra, it would be super, super cool if you went over to the GitHub repository and gave the project a star. The reason I say that is we're on the road to 1,000 stars on this project, and would love to see that hit 1K. So just wanted to throw that out there. Hey, and there is Graham. Hey, it's Graham, the dev for FileBrowser Quantum, here for any questions. That's amazing. Thank you so much for stopping by, Graham. Appreciate you being here. We were just talking about your Reddit post from the other day where you talked about that. We kind of dug through the post that led us here, and then we were taking a look at your GitHub repository, and we had just kind of gotten down to here where we had mentioned that there is no stable version And of course, like I mentioned earlier, this is in version 0.7.8 beta. So this is still very much a work in project and process, like we talked about when we took a look at the Reddit post over here. Definitely, if you're interested in this, it sounds like there's a lot of people who have been using FileBrowser and are going to need to potentially replace it. So that's what we're going to take a look at today, I think that is what we're going to take a look at today. Damn it. That's the whole point of this stream. So super stoked to have everybody here at this point. So need maintainers. Okay, we took a look at that already. Let's close that one out. And then, of course, like I mentioned, this post was from Thursday, I think. Wednesday is when this came out. And then yesterday, Ethan talked about it here. The maintainers of the popular file browsing application FileBrowser also announced their official departure from the project last week. Several users have already volunteered to take over future development and maintenance, but the overall impact it will have on the platform. Popular forks like FileBrowser Quantum have already been gaining traction given the project's lack of development activity in recent months. So that was I think the bump that kind of made me really look at it, and I'm really glad I did. Let me jump over to here because I've got this. I was messing around with it yesterday. That's that. Okay, this is the login page for FileBrowser Quantum. I couldn't find anywhere in the notes as I was going through this. I may have missed it. The default username and password on this are admin. Again, looking through this, I couldn't find that. I just took a wild gamble and got it right because it's very common for that to be the default username and password. So that's what we're going to take a look at here real quick. We'll just type in admin and admin. And there we go. And here we can see that I've already messed with it a little bit. The way I mounted this folder was in my Papra folder on this LXC that never actually got used. But in here, we can double click. It's pretty straightforward. It's a file browser, which is what we're here for. This is what we like to see. But there are a ton of features in here that I really, really dig. That's pretty standard. Oh, that's log out. Interesting. How do we do that? I'm so confused. I think I screwed something up here. There we go. We've got to pin it. There we go. I got it. I got it finally. There we go. So we can toggle single click. I don't like that mode. I don't like list mode. I like, we've got a few different modes here to view. That's great. I've only messed with this a little bit and not nearly enough, obviously. Let's see, make sure I haven't missed anything up here. EMP83 says hello from France. Well, thank you for hanging out. Much appreciated. So let's come back to this. So we've got up here, we can open and close this, and then we got to repin it. That's an interesting way to do that. Single click. So if we just click it, it starts playing or it opens up with a single click. And then, hey, look, there's a squirrel on my knee. She's very, very tame. Can we exit from? No, we can't. We can't do it that way. Interesting. Okay, I was just hitting escape on my keyboard. Like I said, I've got this installed. I haven't really dug through it all that much. So this is going to be a learning experience for me as much as it is for you guys. So again, single click, and then you can click play. And here's the thing. I love that I can play videos in the browser. Oh, there she goes. Yeah, she's sniffing me. She's checking me out. Of course, that's not why we're here. We just have a very strange relationship with the animals in our neighborhood. So, I don't know. It says, FileBrowser didn't have any kind of pins or bookmarks. So this is already, so the pin is just, I think, to keep this open. Yeah. So we click that and then we click that and that pins that open. But we can right click. We've got new folder file upload, select multiple and share. We got info on here, so we can get at least a little bit of info about the file. What else do we have here? Select multiple, so we can do that. I don't remember if I checked that log or not. This is just kind of a dummy install just because I wanted to mess around. But it's entirely possible it was there. But I think that's typically if a random password is generated, to just have the username and password be admin. Typically that's somewhere in the documentation. Check out the search and settings. Okay, well, we will definitely do that here in just a moment. Hey, Craig is here. Awesome. Glad to have you here, man. I'm not sure what the use case for this is. This is a file management application where you can upload files quickly and easily. Like here, you can see I've got a bunch of files here. This would be checking my audio yesterday to make sure that it was going to work. And I can just drag it over there. And now these files are available on my server based on where I uploaded them. In fact, if I come over here and do an ls, there they are. Just that quickly and easily. I can also, I can right click and say, select multiple and then do a shift and a click. And then I can right click and say delete. And then, hey, look, let's delete all of those and click delete. And now they're gone. It's a graphical user interface for file management. Not for everybody, and that's okay. Not every application out there is for everyone. I just like to show what is out there so the people who want to use it or can use it can have that option. So what else do we have here? So let me come back up to here. It said check out the search and the settings. Okay, let's take a look. To manage my files in my Docker host. There you go. You know what? In fact, I'm curious. New file. Let's do this. We're going to call this docker compose.yml. Hey, look. So then what we're going to do is come over to here, and we're going to scroll down, and we're going to scroll down. I scrolled down too far. We'll come back to features in a minute because we're in it now. We are in it. Looking for Q&A wiki. Is it here? Config and examples. CLI with Docker. Oops, clicked the wrong thing there, but that's not what I wanted either. Damn it, I clicked the wrong thing. You know what, screw it. We're just gonna copy this, right? And then I'm gonna come over to here and I'm just gonna paste that in there. I was able to use Control V, not Control Shift V. I've got all of my normal like desktop stuff here. So that worked out really well. Cool. I hit Control S on my keyboard and Docker compose.yml was saved. It was behind my stupid head down there, but you can kind of see that. So that just worked. That was brilliant. I absolutely love that. And hey, look, there's our Docker compose and we can view what's in it. So if I come back over to here and I say ls, hey, look, I can do a cat on the Docker compose, and right there is what we just copied and pasted in there. So we don't have to do things via the terminal if we don't want to. We can have a nice graphical user interface to do this. Oh, wow, holy crap. Dude, that's cool. So this is the search, right? Search context is just in the root folder. We can search only folders, we can search only files, or we can toggle it again. We can toggle those on and off just by clicking them again so that they're not highlighted. We can search for photos or audio or videos or documents or archives. We can say smaller than whatever megabytes or larger than whatever megabytes. And then we can, we can type in, let's search for, squirrel. Hey, look, there's 2 squirrel videos right there. That's great search. I love being able to refine, because oftentimes in these systems, in your whatever your systems, right, you'll have lots of files that are named very similarly, or you could, and you want to just filter out, look, I'm only looking for photos, or I'm only looking for documents, right? Like I could say, Docker compose, and hey, look, there's some documents in there that's actually in this Papra folder, right? So it's actually searching levels deep as well, and that's actually pretty impressive. Like, I dig the crap out of that. That's super helpful. Like, this is way easier than trying to use the find command. This is brilliant. This is really, really good. I've always sucked with the find command. I have used it a bunch, but if I could have used this, I absolutely would have. Yeah, so can't open that document. That's fine. Not a big deal, but you can still find it. Oh, and hey, look, I can just download it. That's cool. And I can say keep, because I want an HTTP connection there. I can share it which is just a path. Share duration, we'll say 2. I'm gonna click share. We're gonna what is this? Copy link to clipboard. Let's see. Hey, look, it gave me the entire share path, and there I got to download it again. That's very cool. That share, man, that share is great. Boo. Matthew, let's come back up. Let's come back to that. No reason I got myself so I can access my files remotely. There you go. The getting started page. Yeah, that's fair. Well, we'll take a look at the getting started page. Let's come back over to here. We'll dig into all of this. I'm just kind of doing a quick rundown. Maybe, you know what? You bring up a valid point. Let's just start here, right? We got sidetracked because my meds can only do so much. So this is FileBrowser Quantum, the best free self-hosted web-based file manager. There is no stable version. We talked about that earlier. FileBrowser Quantum is a massive fork of the FileBrowser open source project with the following changes. Multiple sources support. Would like to know more information about that. Login support for OIDC, password, and two-factor authentication and proxy. Revamped UI, simplified configuration via config.yaml file. Ultra-efficient indexing for real-time updates, real-time search results as you type, real-time monitoring updates in the UI. Search supports file and folder sizes along with various filters. Actually, I want to see something here, right? So we've got, oops, we're going to close this. We're going to come over to here. We've got Docker Compose and 2 squirrel files, right? We're going to do an ls. Cool. We're going to touch file.txt, right? We're going to come back over to here. Let's see. Let's refresh. Hey, look, there it is. There's file.txt. Had to refresh the page, but that's still, it found it, it dropped it in there. That's awesome. Search supports file and folder sizes along with various filters. We talked about that earlier. Better listing browsing, more file type previews such as Office and video file previews, instantly switches view modes and sort order without reloading data. Folder sizes are displayed. Navigating remembers the last scroll position, and developer API support, ability to create long-lived API tokens, and helpful Swagger pages available at /Swagger endpoint for API-enabled users. Notable features that this fork does not have or have been removed. Jobs not supported yet, but it's planned. Rules are not supported yet, but they're planned. And shell commands are completely removed and will not be returned. Can you add remote host file systems? I don't. It felt like that up here. Multiple sources support. It feels like that there, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know about remote. Hopefully, Graham can help with that question. Let's see. Awesome if we could index STL, OBJ, etc., and identify what the model is of. Kidney candy store moment, dude. You're right. It's like I just jumped in. So normal refresh updates are coming for real time, just not there yet, and that's fine. Again, as it says in here, this is still active development. I love what you've got so much already that I just dove in without sharing this part first. So I got this itch, man. Multiple sources mean you can mount multiple folders and they show up in the sidebar as different directories with different permissions for indexing, config, and patch. Okay, so multiple local folders, but not remote file systems. That's kind of what I figured, because multiple sources could be a security issue in the grander scheme of things, I would think, depending on how things are configured. But thank you for clarifying. I really appreciate that, and I'm sure everyone else does too. So let's keep scrolling through here, because let's do this in the right order. So FileBrowser Quantum differs significantly from the original version. Many of these changes required a significant overhaul. Creating a fork was a necessary process to make the program better. There have been many growing pains, but a stable release is planned and coming soon. This version is called Quantum because it packs tons of advanced features in a tiny executable file. Unlike the majority of alternative options, FileBrowser Quantum is simple to install and easy to configure. which I agree. Like I took a look at the Docker compose, or the Docker run command rather. Well, it was down there. It was just as simple. In fact, I think I can probably just show you here. Let me do this. Let me clear my screens just so we're not getting confused. This is the command that I ran. So we don't have any persistence. We don't have anything other than this running. This was just a very basic installation for the sake of just getting this interface up for testing. So let's come back over to here. I don't remember where I found that. I do want to pop that open in a new tab. I'm going to cover that. Okay, so let's. I know it's only mounted files first. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. The goal for this repo is to become the best open source self-hosted file browsing application that exists, and all for free. This repo will always be free and open source. For more information, click the Q&A wiki, which is all here. That's a lot. We're not going to read all of that. But if you guys want to check out the Q&A, it's in the GitHub repository. All right, so the UI has a simple 3-component navigation system. The left, multi-action button with slide-out panel. The middle for the powerful search bar, and the right, which is the view change toggle, which is, let's see, we've got left, center, and right, or middle and right. Let's see what else. Install configuration. We've got the Getting Started wiki, which is, I think, what Graham was trying to point me to earlier. And these are great, man. Like being able to have this in 60 megs is pretty crazy. So there's the latest /beta at 60. These are image tags, so it'd be file browser like this, and then colon, and then latest or beta slim or dev after the colon, and you would get different versions of this ranging between 15 and 60 megabytes. So there we've got the Docker command the Docker run command that I ran to get us here, like I demonstrated there. There's also without Docker, if you want to go that route, which I actually appreciate, not for myself, but because there are a lot of people in my comments that say it's Docker, so I won't touch it. So having this as an option is also awesome. You can execute the program via running this on Windows. That's cool. What's config file? Why should I use it? By default, starting 075, will run without a config file, with a default source being the current directory, which makes total sense. However, a config file is generally necessary. You can download this example config and modify it as needed with your source's path. Absolute or relative paths are allowed. That's great. So there is your config.yaml file if you want to do that. Again, it says it's generally necessary. Full list of config options can be found at the example wiki. Non-root file browser in Docker is possible running as non-root or file browser. Make sure you either specify the server cache directory that points to a directory. The user has permission to create one beforehand if necessary. By default, file browser attempts to create a temp directory in the current directory. That's awesome. And then again, we've got this Docker run command. I would if I could make a suggestion on both of these commands, have a -d in here, just so that it is detached, so that the terminal window doesn't have to stay open. You can see I've added it here. If you don't have that and you say close your terminal window, then the container shuts down. Adding the -d in there prevents that from happening. So just a thought. Again, this has got so it's Docker run. It's got the user volume to the config, as well as the path to whichever folder you want to mount, and then the path or the port and the image. And then we've got this. So we got this says I recommend using Docker Compose if you want to run with persistent database. So, and Graham, and that's honestly, man, that's why I'm glad you're here. And it's because we as a group will see things. Like I used to do like front end development for like websites and that sort of thing. And it's so easy to just get lost in the code that you forget or you overlook, or you don't think about what's obvious to you may not be obvious to other people. It happens. It's not a big deal, but I'm glad you're here so you can kind of maybe take notes like it sounds like you're doing, and that's awesome. So anyway, this again says recommended using Docker Compose. You want to run with persistent database, which is, here's an example Docker Compose file. And then services, file browser, volumes, path to whatever folder you want to have access to. Optional, if you want the database to persist, configure a path under database directory in the config file. Database is interesting. Sorry, as I'm looking at the volume here, you've got. Sorry, I'm just reading this. You've got this Docker volume here, but you don't have it declared down here. That's how I'm reading it anyway, but maybe that's handled via the config file. So I'm not sure. We're going to deploy this and see what happens, I guess is what I'm getting at. But yeah, you know what? Let's just do that, right? I'm going to copy this. We're going to come over to here. I've actually got this. We're going to get logged in. Maybe. Oh, no, you suck. It didn't show me the username. Yeah, no kidding, huh? Also, I'm only using root because this is a demo server. Running things as root is not good practice. Again, this is my testing demo server. So be aware of that. We're going to do a nano docker compose.yaml. We're going to paste that in there. Oh, geez, why is it doing this? That's stupid. All right. So path to folder, right? Let's come up to here. Let's change some things. We're gonna put some stuff in here, right? I have a place where I always mount everything, so I'm gonna say home Docker. I'm gonna call it Quantum, like so, and that's where stuff should get mapped or should get stored. Our database again, home file browser database. I feel like this is gonna throw a hissy fit if I don't declare the image. Or sorry, the volume down below, but we're going to run with this and see what happens. Config.yaml, we're gonna create that file here in just a minute in the same directory that we're already in. Our port is on 80, that's fine. This is just an LXC with nothing else on it. Again, though, just for demonstrative purposes, if you needed to change that to something else, you would only change the left side of the colon. Don't change the colon or anything after it. So we're gonna leave this on port 80. Our image is right there. You could, again, use different versions by adding a tag and saying, like dev. We're not going to do that, but that's how you would add a tag to this. Let's see. And then optionally, run as non-root user, file browser user, file browser. Okay. And then restart always. That's fine. We're going to save that. And then we got to create this config.yaml file here as well. Oh, sorry, man. Itch. Interesting. All right. So, oops, where do we go here? We're going to clear my screen. I'm going to do a nano. Man, if I could type, we're going to paste that in there like that. And then where did it go? Make sure to mount a modified config that points to okay. We're just going to use this same thing here. Because it references the Docker Compose up there. And we're going to paste this in, right? Like so. This all should be fine. Oh, okay. I see. All right. So clear my screen again. And then we're going to do Docker Compose up-d. Okay. Service file browser refers to an undefined volume database. And okay, that's what I thought might happen. Let's do nano Docker Compose, and this is for the undefined volume database, right? I thought that might happen, so what I'm going to do is this database. Oops. Oh, hold on. I want to clear my screen, and then we're going to run that. Clear my screen and push this the right number of times. Docker compose up-d. Validating root docker compose.yaml. Additional property volume is not allowed. The hell? Interesting. This kind of stuff happens sometimes. Oh, thank you. Volumes, not volume. File browser files to an Oh, you know what? I know what the problem is. You were also right, but I got to do this. I got to do a // to make sure that it knows it's in the right directory. There we go. We got there. We got there. But this is kind of the process we go through the first time we deploy something, and I wanted to kind of show all of the steps that I go through, and I think that's super important. So we're bringing everything up, so that's good. So we're on 074. Continue. There we go. Now, I do want to actually take a look at something here real quick. We're going to do Docker PS, and then we're going to grab this ID, copy Docker logs, and then we're going to follow it. All right. So just because somebody, and you're right. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. The doc seems like it needs some small edits, and that's actually what Graham said a minute ago. Is that he's going to do that. He's going to make some edits based on what he's seeing here. Somebody earlier had mentioned that possibly the username and password combination were in the logs. They're not. Like we're looking at the logs right here, and they're not. The username and password are not here. So just wanted to show that because I can say stuff all day long, but unless I actually show it, there's no real proof that I did anything there to do that. So cool. So now we're going to do admin, and there we go. Now we are logged in. Oh, okay. So username and passwords are set in the config file. Defaults to admin. If not, that's good. There was something in here. Yep, configuration wiki, and there's lots of additional information in here. As far as wow, there's just lots of stuff in here. There's your OIDC if you want to use that. That's OIDC. Front end. Oh, you can add custom front end example configurations. We can use auth config examples. Name. Okay. All right. See, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. So here, holy crap. Yeah. So here we go. Lots of options in here for configuration stuff. So no, you're absolutely right. That's really good information. Again, I just like to jump in here and see how much I can break it without reading documentation. It's a weird thing I've always done with most everything. Yeah, so let's see. So yeah, oh, here we go. Admin username and password is under auth. So auth, admin username, admin password, those are the defaults right there. Reset admin on start. Right, I would probably by default set that to true, just to force people to at least change their password. But that's just my thought. So that's okay. We're deployed, right? That's not the right one. This is the right one. Let's drag this. Oops. Let's drag this over to here, right? Because let's close some stuff. I'm getting lost. There we go. So we're deployed here. All right, 42. Yep. All right. So let's take a look. Here we are. We're back to this. Oops. Ooh, itch. Ow, that sucked. So again, there's really not much going on here, but we uploaded some stuff earlier. Let's do that again, right? Just so we've got something to play with. We'll give this a second. That uploaded really fast. Granted, they're very small files, but it uploaded really fast. And hey, look, there are all of the different things in the logs. 73 milliseconds, 74, 80. Like that happened really, really fast. So super happy with the speed that seems to be afforded to this. Let's make them bigger. Oh, you know what? I've got this. I'm dumb. And at this point, I would assume that it is probably processing. Fingers moving faster than the brain. That story of my life, man. Let's turn my volume down. If I click that there again, this was me yesterday testing my audio to make sure that it was loud enough. This one was not. But I love that. Oh, enable. Okay, go to settings. Cool. Let's take a look at settings because you had mentioned earlier we should definitely be here. So we're definitely going to do that. Set exact date format. Yeah, let's do that. Show hidden files. That's going to be your dot files. Those are usually good to be able to see depending on what your security requirements are. Show download icon for quick access. Absolutely. Preview images, preview videos. Hell yes. A motion preview for videos. Yeah, let's do that. High quality preview. These are such good. Love this. Disable Office previews for certain file extensions. A space-oriented list of file extensions to disable Office previews. Examples, TXT, HTML. I'm not going to block anything. I don't want to disable anything. We can change our colors in real time. That's awesome. I like the blue, though. Sharing management, nothing there. API keys, if you need to generate an API key, there's how you can do that. And the permissions that you can give each key. That's great. I love seeing simple toggles like this. Do you want the API to be able to modify? Do you want to give it admin privileges? Depends on what you're doing. I love this. This is great. And you can have it expire after days, months, whatever. That's great. I'm going to close that. And then right here, we've just got the one user down here at the very bottom. I can't scroll any farther or I would. So that's awesome. And everything saves like in real time. I remember seeing, you guys probably couldn't see it behind my head, but there were saves happening. There it is. Just kind of pops up, but love that. We're going to come back, but this is just for profile settings, right? Hey, look, there it is. Oops. And it's just pulling a few frames. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. Well done. That's very cool. Oops. Whew. All right, let's see. And if I right click, again, new info, select multiple, download, share, rename, copy, move, or delete. Great context or whatever that's called. The pop-up. Well done. No, this is very cool. I dig this a lot. So again, that is just profile settings. And I believe, I would assume anyway, that each user can adjust their profile settings to how they would want them to be set. And I like that. That way you don't have to have not everybody wants to use a file manager the same way. And I think it's great, if I'm right, that each user can have their own profile settings the way they want them, their own colors, that sort of thing. That's awesome. Share settings. Oh, we were already there, right? API keys, user management. Edit. Password, two-factor authentication. Again, like if I click this, so reset and generate new two-factor authentication code. Hey, look, there it is. You can scan that, have at. It's not going to be accessible to the internet. So we can do that. That's awesome. I am wondering about multi-user mode, maybe. Is this just a single user setup? Question mark. Because when I see user management, I think multiple users, and maybe I'm implying too much there. So any information you might have would be great. I think I scratched something there. Oh, that's great. So that's kind of what's going on there. Help, and then the version number. That's awesome. Down here in that bottom left-hand corner. I am. So that appears to be the settings, which I think is great. I'm still curious. I'm curious about multi-user mode, just because it says user management, and that makes me think multi-user mode. But I could be overthinking that. access to that. I'm not sure why you can't. Admin should have access to that, right? Yeah, down here it just says users, user management. Yeah, I'm not sure what is going on there. Is there multi-user? You should have a plus button next to users. I don't see one. Multi-user where you have a plus button next to users. Yeah, interesting. I don't see anything there. I don't know. That's just you watched me deploy it. I don't know what else to say. Is it maybe a setting in like the configuration to allow maybe a bug? Click the API and check the admin. I think I noticed a bug. Hold on. API keys. Oops. New API key. Oh, interesting. Oh, because I had turned off admin. By doing that, it disables the ability to create new users. That's an interesting correlation there. Now I can create new users. I don't know if that's a bug. Maybe. But again, username, password, prevent user from changing password, yes or no. It uploaded your user saying that's a bug there. We'll fix. Awesome. Cool. That's awesome. I'm glad we were able to see that in real time. Folder, you can create subfolders, leave blank for the default path. English, you can, wow, you guys, you've got a ton of languages in there. That's great. Password, OIDC or proxy to allow user methods. That's great. Permissions, administrator, edit files, share files, create and manage long-live APIs, and enable real-time connections and updates. So you can control users at that level. So that's great. That's really cool. And then real-time. Let's just enable real-time for the hell of it. But again, that's an API key setting in theory. Little glitch. Stuff happens. But that's why I'm glad that we're able to get you on here and see in real time, so you can kind of take notes. I think that's awesome. What else we got here? Okay, that's right. That's that. It's 5 days ago, so we're very current there. Able to kill some of their own needed settings and create a new user. Yeah, definitely. Thomas W says admin shouldn't be able to kill some of their own needed settings like create a new user. Call that a bug. Yep, absolutely. But luckily, the developer is here, and it sounds like he is going to take care of that. This is great. It's a glitch because the API key permissions are tied to current user. So yeah, a bug, not a big deal. I didn't even realize this. You can sort. You can sort stuff in theory. Oh yeah, you can. That's fun. And then last modified. There you go. That's great. So I didn't even notice the sort feature there. I don't know how I missed it, but I did. That brings us back to here. That's going to hide that. That's going to pin that. I like having that there. This is great. I really dig what you've done with it so far. And I know that you said you've got a bunch of stuff coming, which I also think is awesome. Let's see what else we have here. That's log out. Right. It's still weird there. Let's just click that, and then it just popped open. I honestly, here's the thing. Here's something, Graham, if I could. I don't know if it's something you've thought about or would consider, but in the settings, right? Man, I don't even know where you would put that. It would be neat to have the ability to toggle autoplay on videos. So like this is great to just have that pop up and not autoplay, but I feel like some people wouldn't want the extra step of then having to come over here and click play. I know it's a nitpicky thing, but maybe consider having the ability to toggle autoplay on and off for video files. Just a thought. I don't know if anybody else has an opinion on that, but just a random thought. Oh, also, I love this where you can just click download and it just having that right there. So good. I like having that. Man, what? Okay, I got to do something here. I got to see something. Anytime you handle a lot of enhancements in the issues, like, oh, great. Okay, cool. Let's go. Let's see. I probably got pictures here. Let's do those. It's just some images here. Oh, damn it. I didn't do that right. Oh, such a dummy. Such a dummy. All right, let's try this again. Drag them over there. There we go. Okay. When it's preference based, I usually add a settings toggle. So if you don't like it, you can change it per user. Awesome. So question I have then. I'm going to try one other thing here. One other video file here, I think. Okay, this is a larger file. It doesn't matter. It's right there. It's fine. Okay. Video files. It's hard for me to point to. Video files have these like circles in the top left corner. What's that? I'm just honestly just random curiosity that I noticed. Like images don't have an indicator in the top left, but video files do. Just a thing I've noticed. Let's find some other files to drop in here and see what we can come up with. Sure, let's drop those in there. Oops. Did it? No. I didn't drag it. I didn't drag it good enough. Oh, it indicates motion photo. Okay, perfect. That's great. And I bet if I come over to here and turn that off, right? And then close this, hey, look, no more motion photo. Okay, makes perfect sense. Thank you for the clarification there. That's awesome. This is, interesting. That's interesting. Boo. So it looks like we've got a question over here from Zero Linux that popped up over here. Celebrates 1 month of membership. That's awesome. Thank you so much. It says, wait, new file browser? What's different? How are you doing? What's the catch? So in the video description, here on YouTube anyway, file browser, the devs have stepped away from that and are no longer maintaining it or modifying it or taking pull requests or anything. So Graham has been working on his own fork of it for a while and has come up with FileBrowser Quantum. That's what we're taking a look at today. And he has just modified the crap out of it. And I really love basically everything he's done with it so far. And we're just kind of talking about what's going on there, and we're bug hunting unintentionally. We found a couple of bugs, and that's awesome. I'm really glad that Graham was here to view that in real time. Something interesting that I noticed is that what is this? Product overview. Let me see which one this is. Brochure is a docx file. I don't even have anything to install that, right? So brochure, like I can hover over this, brochure.docx, and I can see a preview of it here, but when I click it, I get no preview. Again, one of those random things. But anyway, just thought I'd point that out too. Sure you're probably aware of it, but just a random thing I noticed. So we got some pictures of dummy here. That's there. And then of course I turned off the animation or whatever we're calling that, motion preview for videos. I turned that off. We're gonna turn that back on because I actually really like it. I promise I have my moments. I mean, we all do, but yeah. So that's what's going on there. What do we have? What is this file? Oh, so we can view PDF, and we can fully view the PDF. That's awesome. Interesting. Well, cool. Oh, that was something. That was a script that I had AI write and then only used a little bit of, because typically what I do, just as transparency here, I will write a script that'll be way too long, and I will ask like ChatGPT or one of those to like simplify it, and I will take ideas from that and re-script things. But this was like, at this point, you're going to say this and show that. And I was like, no. So, holy crap. James Collins says, I'm halfway through deploying this on my 9 Docker hosts. So far, so good. That is commitment, especially when I'm going to bring this up again. This is version 0.78 beta. And there is no stable version. So be careful with that, Collins. It looks good so far. I'm not trying to take away from that, but this isn't stable yet. Things may change. So I think we've looked through all of this. Oh, we didn't get this far, right? So we've got a get started wiki and a configuration wiki. We took a look at that. I believe that this actually does support other platforms based on what I was reading earlier for the getting started wiki, right? We come over here. Without Docker, go to releases and download the executable that matches your platform. Let's look. Let's see what we've got for that. Hey, look, FileBrowser.exe. So Windows compatible. We've also got ARM versions. We've got Intel, AMD, whatever versions. We've got source code. So it looks like he's supporting beta means B for possibly break. That's pretty funny. But yeah, multiple platforms supported here, which I'm glad you brought up because I hadn't thought to look at that. But again, look at how small these file sizes are. That's crazy. Love that. Well done on keeping those file sizes small, and of course everything else. But there we go. Command line usage. So we've got a CLI wiki. We've got an API wiki. We've got Office support wiki on how to enable Office-like editing and Office-related features. That's brilliant. Migration from the original file browser. That's also something that there's a whole wiki about. That tasteful thickness says File Pilot is a program in beta I just checked out the other day. We need more options. And that's what I like to show here, right? Like we can come over to this. I'm never trying to tell you, you have to use this or you should use this. You should stop using what you're using to use this. My whole point of what I'm doing here is to show people that there are options. And I've started trying to incorporate that as a disclaimer in my last several videos, my last few videos, I guess, the last 3 or 4, because I very often get comments about, well, I'm already using this. Why would I switch? I never told you to. I'm just showing you what your options are. There were actually even in the Papra video that I released last Wednesday, a few days ago, where I had disclaimers of, yes, this is just one way that you can do this. This is just another option you can look at. This is like, I'm not trying to convince you to switch. There were so many people that seemed offended almost that I would dare depart from paperless NGX. The reality is I don't use either platform. I don't use most of the stuff I talk about in these videos, right? Like I check them out. I kind of pick them apart a little bit and give my opinion on them. But I don't use very many of the apps that I actually talk about. I'm going to be doing a video here very soon about what I actually do use and talking about why. I've been working on cleaning some stuff up to make that video more presentable. But I agree, we need more options and we need people to be more open-minded at the idea that just because what they're using works really well for them, it doesn't mean that it's going to work really well for literally everyone else. Having options is important, whether it's in self-hosting, whether it's in grocery stores or restaurants or people. We need options out there. If everything was identical, there'd be no point. So yes, thank you, the tasteful thickness, for bringing up. Yes, we need more options. Many Quarantin says, many comments about paperless comparison. Yeah, they both manage files, but they also do a lot of other things, or manage documents, but they also do things differently. They're approached differently. They've got different end goals. Paperless is a decade old with like 400 contributors or something, and Papra isn't. Papra is a very new, still feature-rich product, but it's still not intended to be paperless. I'm just going to leave it there, right? So let's come back to here. Let's get off my little tirade there because I can just go forever when I get started. So we were talking about the migration chart. If that was the case, we would only know Red Hat if we only had, right. And operating system, that's a valid point. There's 100+ different variations of Linux. Options everywhere, super important. So we've got a comparison chart here. of the application name and what it supports. Quantum, that's the one we're looking at here. And I appreciate that Graham put in, yep, these other things have this thing I don't. And I think that's awesome. I think that's really, really important. File system support, yes. Linux, yes. Windows, yes. Mac, yes. Self-hostable, hell yes. Has a stable release, not yet. It's in the process of being developed. S3 support, nope. WebDAV, nope. FTP, nope. Dedicated doc site, nope. All the docs are currently on GitHub, and I think that's fine for right now. Multiple sources at once, yes. We were talking about that earlier. You would just mount multiple volumes there for where you want to mount your sources. That's awesome. Docker image size, 200 megs with FFmpeg. And these others, some of these are much larger, like file runs, more than 2 gigs. Holy crap, I wasn't aware of that. And some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. That's life, man, minimum memory requirements, 256 megs. Some are bigger, some are smaller. Again, that's life. Has a standalone binary. Yes, I love that. Price, free. Yep. Rich media preview. Yes. Upload files from the web. Yes. Advanced search. Yes. Content-aware search. No, that's fine. I appreciate the transparency here. If people are looking for a certain thing, they can come here and see if it's got it. I think that's brilliant. I love seeing that. Custom job support, again, that was talked about, not there yet, but coming or planned anyway. Multiple users, single sign-on, LDAP, nope. Long live API, yep. API documentation page, yep. No mobile app, that's fine. I would be curious about how it looks on mobile. I don't know how. Interesting question, really. Let's see. We're on 74. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna go to 192.168.0.74. I understand that. I'm going to type in admin, and then I'm going to come down to here. I'm going to type in admin again. I'll log in. Dude. Genuinely, that's okay. I don't know how to do this because I'm not using the right app to do this, but dude, it looks great on mobile. Like, let me come back to this. I know you can't see that, or maybe not as well as you'd like. Dude, that lays out so well on mobile. Like, holy crap, that's impressive. That's really impressive. Oh, you're right. I do need Dex. That would have fixed it because I am on a Samsung. That lays out really, really well, even in mobile. So well done on that. My favorite thing about the Windows File Manager is that you need to download the K-Lite codec to preview thumbnails. That's hilarious. In file browser, file views don't stick. Thumbnail view details to each folder. Is it possible to add a cookie or something that happens? That's an interesting question. I don't know. I haven't. Man, sorry. There's a chat going on that I'm part of that I'm not being part of right now, and my wrist is blowing up every time those two send a message back and forth. The wife and a friend that we've had for 30 years are sending memes back and forth. So my wrist just kept vibrating. Windows has a mobile app that works fine for screen sharing. Yeah, I probably look. The reality is, I only try to show my screen every once in a while, and if I need to show it like in a video, like a regular tutorial video or whatever, I can record my screen and share it pretty easily. So probably not going to make a huge change to what I'm doing here for this, but I'm glad to know that there are other options. So yeah. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Where are we here? We were over here. Oh, I wasn't even showing. I am such an idiot, man. I apologize, guys. Oh no, I switched to show you that. I swear, one of these days, man. One of these days, I'm going to catch up. Okay, so mobile app not needed, really. That looks so good in the browser. Like, well done on that. Open source, yes. Tag support, not currently. I don't know if tag support is coming. But not there. Shareable web links, yes. Of course, for that to really work, you would need to have this accessible from the internet. And for that, you would probably want to use like a single sign-on or something to make sure that your security is really good. Event-based notifications, no. It looks like the only one that has that is file run. I wish, and it's not your fault, I wish you could have this table header. I wish you could have this table header like static to the top of the page. Yeah, like the first, like we deployed it earlier. This is the deployed version that we deployed as a team via a Docker Compose. So if you've got questions, we can try to answer them without getting too far off. But let's see, what else do we have here? Where did we go? Here we go. Tag support. There we go. Event-based notification metrics. Nothing. Nobody has metrics. Interesting. File space quotas. Nope. Text-based file editor. Yes, we took a look at that. That was great. Office file support. Yes, sort of, as far as previews are concerned. Like the pop-up worked. Again, here, this is a docx file that I can view here. Graham, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Everybody, thank Graham for what he's doing here, for hanging out. Appreciate you so much for that. Definitely, if we run into anything else, I would definitely check back. Maybe we'll have some notes or something we can send, or maybe somebody else can do what they got to do. But thank you again for stopping by. Super appreciate you taking your time. So hopefully we'll chat again soon. Where'd we go? There we go. Do previews, yes, sort of. Comparison grid, maybe add like oh, that's a really good idea. Adding like the construction symbol for planned stuff. Oh, there you go. Post any issues you find on GitHub and I'll address them. Perfect. Thank you so much, Graham. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Where do we go? Text-based, yep. Office, yep. We looked at that. Themes, yep. We can do light and dark mode via the config.yaml file, I believe. I prefer dark mode. I don't know what to tell you if you don't, other than change the config file. Branding support, again, part of the config file. No activity log, no comment support, no trash support. Would like to see those. Again, I think, like Quarantine said, if you could add that like that construction banner icon thing to the stuff that you're going to work on, that'd be amazing. Let's see what else. Trash, starred pinned files, Chromecast support. Interesting to include that since only FileStash supports it, but cool. Share collections of files, only FileRun supports that. Can archive selected files? Interesting. Yeah, we'd like to see that too. Can browse archive files. I hadn't thought about that, but that's an interesting idea. Can convert documents, can convert videos, can convert photos. So lots of stuff. I love this table in here. But I agree with Quarantine about modifying it a little bit to let people know what's planned, or possibly maybe we've got a roadmap somewhere. I don't know. Issues to okay. Looks like we've got an active community here. So this is good. And definitely be sure to look through here to see. Definitely check to see if there's anything in here you agree with. If there is, I think maybe, yeah, you can give it a thumbs up if you agree with it or whatever. Other tools like Tiny File Manager have chunked file uploads to bypass the size. Yeah, that would be very cool. I actually discovered this with Dumdrop recently. Dumdrop uses chunked file uploads to bypass file size uploads. Would love to see that here as well. So if I was logged in, I would totally give that a thumbs up. But it sounds like it's already on the roadmap. That's the wiki. Do we have a roadmap over here? We do. We do have a roadmap. Let's look. Oh, okay. Most up-to-date status of features that can be found on the GitHub roadmap. I thought that's where, oh, here we go. Wow. All right. Lots and lots of stuff on the roadmap. Okay, all of this has been completed, I think. Interesting. Oh, or when they're planned. Interesting. Okay. And look, I actually appreciate this, that it's like, okay, I'm planning to do it Q3. I'm planning to do this Q4. High memory usage, really? I didn't. Maybe let's look at our summary here. Memory usage. I mean, I've given it 172 megs. I don't know if that's high memory usage. Maybe it is for certain things. Collins, you're a beast. Deployed it across all of your hosts. Is he doing most of this alone? Let's do this. Getting started. Let's come back to here, and we scroll down. 10 contributors, but like this contributor is Dependabot. That's a person. That's a person. That's a person. This is FileRun is contributing. Now I don't know if that is to. I don't know if that is to the upstream version, but we've also got a couple of more people here, and that's another person. Neat. Wanted to see if there was an upstream link somewhere up here. Links. I just need to update the links to all of them on homepage. Holy crap. That's is there a homepage widget for FileBrowser? I guess I wasn't aware of that. Okay, we were here, we looked at this. I guess that's the bottom of the page. Interesting. All right. Well, okay. I feel like so I was going back up because no widget, just a link. Okay, fair enough. Zero Linux, did you figure out what you were confused about? Because this would be probably a good time to ask if you've got questions. Because I think we're kind of at the point where we've demoed everything. I feel like we've done a pretty good job of demonstrating kind of what was going on there. What was the? Oh, we were looking at Docker logs. That's what happened there. Okay. Let's see. Let's do an ls. Let's do cd home docker. Yeah, cd into quantum ls. Right, and there are all of our files that we've uploaded here. Probably should have put that in a subfolder like docker quantum /files or something. But again, I'm not deploying this into production at this point. One of the things that I actually would definitely consider using this for, if my mouth would work, right, is let's say we did, YAML and touch.env, right, and then if we come back over to here and refresh, there's our so here is our .env file because we allowed for hidden files or dot files. The amount of times I have to go in, say for instance, to update something in my homepage container. What the hell is going on there? That's weird. Because it's on my Synology, like I have to download the file, modify it, and re-upload the file because Synology, at least from my experience so far, doesn't have the option to modify basically text files in the user interface. So being able to like click this and say, can we not edit that? Interesting. Copy file, edit, delete, info, interesting. Can we? Oh, I can edit it here. I'm just dumb. If I just double click it, I could then grab. Where is it? We're going to find a Q&A wiki, the getting started wiki. That's what we want to look at here, right? And we can just come down to here and paste that in there. I did Control-Shift-V, but you don't have to. Just Control-V works. Control-S to save. I love that. And then, of course, if I do nano Docker Compose, there's that Docker Compose we just deployed and edited in the Docker container. I would consider deploying this just to my config path on my Synology, just so I can edit these things in real time without having to download them and re-upload them to my Synology device. I would consider deploying this to my Synology just for that. Just because I can't believe Synology doesn't have that, or that I'm too dumb to find it. So, which is entirely possible as well. Let's see what else we got here. Sorry. I just looking at sometimes, man. Sometimes I don't see stuff out of the corner of my eye in time. So does anybody have any questions other than why did I close that window? There it is. I just meant to click that. There we go. So we have any questions or things we want to check out in here? I would love to have the opportunity to explore further things. If you guys have got questions about anything here, I'm perfectly open to doing that. Let's see where that's that. Nice work. Custom API with homepage might be able to do. Does it have batch renaming? That's an interesting question. So select multiple. We did that. It doesn't look like it has batch renaming. I wanted to see how to deploy via Portainer rather. Yeah, I mean we could absolutely do that. Let's actually do that because that's a valid point. Let's copy this. Let's do this, right? And we'll switch the ports on it. We'll do like 9443 to get in there. Oops. Now, the one thing that I will say, if you deploy it this way, you will still have to come into, if you want to use the config file that's recommended over here. If you need this, then you need to still create that somewhere here. We can come into here. Yeah, because I did deploy this via command line, right? So we can come into stacks and create a new stack and paste this in here. We'll call this FileBrowser test. Have it there prior to deployment. That's what I'm saying, right? Is you would need to have that mapped somewhere. And then exit ls. Where are we here? ls-a. Okay, right. So this is in home Docker Quantum, right? So in this particular case, we would do /home/ Docker Quantum test files, right? And then we're going to do this, and we're going to call this database test. And then we're going to come back over to here, volumes, and a database test, right? And then our config here would be home Docker Quantum. That's where that file is. All of that should be fine at this point, right? But you would, like you said, have it there prior to deployment and map it appropriately. In fact, for that matter, because we're in Portainer, we also need to do this, do home Docker /quantum test, and then have a temp folder in there. We need to change this to like port 80, like so, just so that it's not also occupying port 80. Click deploy. Oops, invalid host. Oh, I went way too far there. Deploy. There we go. Can't have. Oh wait, hold on. Specified path exists and interesting. Unable to start container process error during mounting. Did I mount that in the oh, you know what? Oops. LS. Right. So anyway, I didn't put that in the right place. Yeah, I agree. Actually shows what happened. Yeah. I'm heading out. Dude, Cornton, thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate you being here. You forgot quantum test instead of quantum. Is that? No, I was. So the problem is that file doesn't exist there. So I would actually need to create that file at that location. That's what I was coming back here to look at, because like right here is where that is. And if you look, there's an env file there and there's a Docker Compose there. But earlier when I deployed this, I actually had it at here instead. So it was there, and I just had it in the wrong place. So that's why it threw that error. It was because I didn't have the file in the right place. But anyway, the point is you would map that to the appropriate place wherever you've got your config file mounted. Oh, there you go. Like Collins here said, I've been adding the config file to the directory and then deploying it via a stack. There you go. So yeah, it was just a glitch in my brain. There was nothing. This actually did the right thing. It was on my end. So no, that's all doing exactly what it should. But deploying it this way, super easy, as long as you've got the right files in the right places and map them appropriately. So let's see. All right. What else do we have questions about? There was, I get that error way too often. Yep. Stack or King. Yep. I like using stacks when I can. Okay. The last question was batch renaming, not presently. All right. Let's see. Let me see if I'm missing anything else. I mean, there's a lot we didn't cover. As far as like the config example wiki, again, like you could really get deep in this as far as the number of image processing or image processors. Do you want a TLS key insert? Do you want to disable previews? Yes or no. Port, you can switch that to something else. Base URL for the server, the sub path the server is running on. Logging, debug media. All right, Craig, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you being here. We'll talk to you later. Let's see, sources, path, relative, or absolute path. Config stuff here for indexing interval. What else we got? External URL used to share links if set. So if you were to put this on a domain, it seems that your external URL, that domain would go right there. Looks like used by integrations if set. This is the URL that an integration service would use. Cache, oops, come on over here. There we go. Cache directory is temp. Max archive size, interesting, is 50. Oh, that's in gigabytes. Holy crap. That's a big max archive size. All right, auth. So we've got the token expiration 2 hours by default. Methods. Methods, we've got proxy enabled false, no auth, false, good call. Password true, minimum length, sign up, false. So if you wanted to let people sign up, you could do that. That's interesting. Recaptcha, you could enable that if you wanted to. And if you wanted to enable like two-factor authentication, one-time passwords, change that to true. I think that's great. OIDC, if you wanted to use that, there's the section for that. Admin username and password by default, or admin for both. If you want to change that, do that. Again, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, I feel like this by default should be set to true, but I kind of see why it's not. Front end, you can change the name. Disable default links, false. Disable used percentage, false. Is there is that there? Did I really close this again? Like the doofus I am. Yeah, come on. Environment related. 192.168.0.74. Geez. All right, let's do this. Back to containers. I'm going to click right there. Right there. There we go. Oh yeah. So you can disable this as far as how much of your storage you've used. I think that's great. I don't know why you'd want to disable it, but you can. To do external links, the text to display on the link, the title. Interesting. URL. Oh, this is for external links. Okay. That is what we saw down here. You can disable or enable that if you want to. And again, this is all part of that config.yaml file that we would use. We were messing with a minute ago. User defaults, sticky sidebar, true, dark mode, true, locale, English, view mode, normal. Oh, we can also do list, grid, or compact. I appreciate that. By default, single click is set to false. Show hidden is set to false. Date format is set to false. When false, date is relative. When true, date is exact timestamp. Interesting. Gallery size is 3. Is that across? It is 3 across. So you can change that if you want to. If you want to have smaller, you can do that. Or if you want to have more on your page, you can do that. I would rather. Theme color by default is blue, but there's also red, purple, etc. Quick download is set to false by default. Disable only Office text. And we kind of talked about that a little bit. That's a setting in there that you can do. Lock password to disable user from changing their password. Interesting idea. Preview quality. High quality is false. Image, video. Interesting. Oh, gotcha. So preview by default is set to false. You can enable that later. Permissions, API, admin, modify, share. So this is all API stuff that we took a look at earlier where I was toggling things on and off and we found that little bug. Login method password. Again, you can switch that to proxy or OIDC. Integrations, we've got Office and media for FFmpeg path. Now, by default, that's already installed in this version. If we come back over, if we come over to here, we were looking at it earlier, and now I'll never find it again. As far as different versions of, oh, it was right here, right there. There we go. 200 megs with FFmpeg. But again, there are other versions of that. The light version, for instance, which is much smaller, but this does have FFmpeg built into it by default, which I super appreciate. And yeah, so lots of stuff that you can take a look at and modify in the config.yaml file that is here. So definitely take a look at that. Change things as you need to for your setup. Yeah, I really, while I understand that this is still very much in beta, like we've talked about several times deliberately, it's come a long way from the original file browser. I love what's happened with it so far, and I'm really looking forward to checking this out very, very soon. So I think that's kind of where we're gonna. Martin's out. Keep up the good work, Graham and others. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you so much for hanging out, Martin. Super appreciate it. Good luck to Collins to resetting all of those passwords. I think that's important as well. You might even go as far as to create a new user that also has admin permissions so that you've got something other than admin as your username, and then logging with that email or with that account and then deleting the admin account. I know you're probably not going to put this public, but again, for the sake of security, that would be good security practice. But no, I think this is very cool. I really dig. I really dig what Graham has done with this so far, and I'm really happy that he was able to join us today and hang out for a while in the chat and let us know that he was paying attention to what we had to say. That's super important to the self-hosting communities when the developers are listening and they're open and they're receptive, rather than some of the stuff I've seen other developers do with their responses to different things. So super appreciate what Graham's doing here. Really looking forward to seeing where it continues to go. We had the roadmap open a minute ago, there it is. I appreciate, he's like, hey, look, this is what we're working with right now. These are the things I think that are done. That was, and I love seeing this roadmap laid out. And I think this is a Gantt chart. I don't remember what that's called. There's a Kanban over here as well. Here, yeah, you can hear to do, in progress, done. I'm better with Kanbans than I am, I think, Gantt charts. But there's an argument to be made on both sides of that. In progress, like, look, that's great. OIDC group header. Yeah, this is all really good stuff. So if you're not sure what's going on, definitely check out the roadmap. In fact, you know what? I'm going to share this here, like so that everybody has an opportunity to see it. And just for the sake of it, I'm editing the description over on YouTube. We're going to call this the GitHub roadmap. Like so, just so people can, again, find this more easily when they watch the replay. Save that. Okay, now that's also linked in the video description if you refresh the page. So yeah, super, super happy with this. Really glad, again, that everybody was able to hang out, including Graham. And I really love that he was able to be receptive to what we had going on and was able to view some stuff in real time. Let's see. Homepage was mentioned today. I know you did it before. Would love to see a vid stream on Homer. Very active devs there. That's good to know. I feel I've never actually looked at Homer. Homer. Let's just, I mean, let's just look at this really quick. We're not gonna get into it too much. My problem with it potentially is this section right here, because it ends in the letters ARR. It immediately has sailing the seven seas. In fact, all of these integrations would get that video trounced by YouTube. I don't know if you saw what happened with Jeff Geerling recently, and his video about how he replaced one device with another and used Kodi or something. Geerling got trounced for that because someone at YouTube or a script or something flagged it for being, like harmful or dangerous acts or something. And it was like, no, know your role, you're wrong. So yeah, it's I have to be, and that's what I hate, is I have to be so. Yeah, you're right. It was also a video that was like 2 years old with more than 1 million views. And I've had that happen. Mine were probably more justified in being taken down than his was. But other people have had something similar happen. Oh, thank you so much. Iced tea. Thank you. Oh, I should put lemon in it too. Like fresh squeezed lemon. That's awesome. Flameberg2K says, do it on Patreon. I'll join. Hey, I'm actually really glad that you brought that up. I really am. Let me do this. Tech. I don't know if it's popped up. Is that right? It is. So, just to do this, right? If we come over, this is my Patreon right now, and for the rest of the month, I'm doing a thing where I'm doing 20% off your first month or first year, to just maybe generate some more potential paid subscribers here. So yeah, if you want to save 20% now through the end of the month, I'm doing kind of a thing there where it's 20% off through the rest of June. There was some. Oh, here's the other thing that I try to bring up when I talk about this. There's like $1, $3, $5, $10, and $20, right? They all give you the exact same thing to everything, right? There's no difference between any of these other than how much you are willing to pay, right? Because I don't want somebody to feel obligated or feel left out if it only makes sense for them to be able to pay $1. I don't want them to feel like they're missing out on something else. But if somebody wants to or can pay $3, $5, whatever, they're going to get the same thing as everyone else, no matter which level you subscribe on. I know it's a weird thing that I've done there, but I want people to support in a way that makes them comfortable, but still get all of the same benefits as everyone else. So that's why I did it that way. But again, I'm doing this thing through the end of June. Let me see, of course. But in fact, it's in the video description as well. There's a link with more information down there. The Father's Day sale now through the end of the month. Get 20% off my Patreon with code Father's Day 2025. I don't even know if you've got to put that in. It seems like it's already there. Whether you're a dad or just like your deals, this one's for you. So as a creator, do you prefer a Patreon or Ko-fi? I don't care. Here's the thing. Let me rephrase that. I prefer that you join Patreon. And the reason I say that is technically, yes, I make less money. But here's the thing. With Patreon and Ko-fi, I still get instant access to that dollar, or to that whatever that dollar figure is. I get instant access to it no matter what. But if you join via Patreon, you'll get ad-free access to my content. And lately, I've been better about early access. So it benefits you to join via Patreon. Like Patreon takes like 5%, and I think PayPal takes their 3.5% or whatever. Coffee doesn't take 1%, but I would rather you get more out of your support by joining Patreon. And like I said, if you join through the rest of the month, you get a bit of a discount. And I don't, yeah. Oh yeah, in fact, it actually says right there, get 20% off your first month or year. Ends at this time on June 30th, because that's when I started it yesterday, apparently. Terms apply. I don't know what those terms are. Discounts can only be redeemed by people who aren't active members of the creators community. This includes new fans, free members, and anyone not receiving any paid benefit from the creator. So it's all there if you want to read through that. But yeah, through the end of the month, we're doing 20% off just for the kicks of it. So, but please, if you're gonna donate, at least get something out of it. At least get ad-free access. At least get maybe early access. I think that's super important to have at least some sort of a reciprocity there. Auto applies for new members. There you go. Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so that's not what I mean, I don't care if you see that, but let's come back over here and look at this guy for just a minute. So that's kind of where things are right now. Of course, I don't have that in here. But thank you to anybody who joins, who has joined, and who will join through June, at least, to get that 20% off. But yeah, so that's, I think that's probably, where we're going to start wrapping things up a little bit. Just because, we've been at this for almost 2 hours, which I'm stoked about, but I am starting to feel sticky. It's getting hot, and it's a little bit humid, which is weird for Colorado. And I feel like the next thing I need to do is go jump in the tub. Brennan, feel free to rewatch the replay, or I'm sure here soon I'll be making a dedicated video on this. And maybe I can also convince Graham to make an appearance, like I've had some other developers do here recently. So, of course, I don't want him to feel obligated. Please don't pressure him. I want everybody who does an appearance to feel or to do it because they want to. So, but yeah, I feel like the pool may be calling me here soon, just because it's starting to get pretty warm and that sort of thing. So. Thank you to everyone who hung out today. Thank you for chatting, for having a discussion with me, for hanging out with me on a Saturday when you could be doing all kinds of any other thing, which wasn't a good way to word any of that. But I'm going to blame the heat. So, but no, I really appreciate you guys. You guys really make this awesome, and I appreciate it. So, so I guess with that said, the other thing, if you were here earlier. If you were here at the very, very beginning of the stream, I played some music. In fact, I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to come over to here. I'm going to switch this up for just a second. And I'm going to unmute this. I know this is maybe confusing. Sorry, there we go. That music is from a musician called Audio Sprite, and that is his kind of tribute album to Final Fantasy X. So if you enjoy that, if you enjoyed that game or that music, again, links to that will be in the video description over on YouTube. All right, dude, keep trucking. Yeah, anyway, if you want to check out that music, definitely check out the video description over on YouTube for that. Great music throughout the entire game, and Audio Sprite did an amazing job of putting together his own interpretation of that. And if you want to check it out, definitely check that out in the video description, like I've said like 4 times now. But I think with that, I am going to go ahead and wrap this up because the kid's going to start coming through consistently. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. If you're in the United States, happy Father's Day to anybody who celebrates, and we'll check out here in the next video.